Oh, my mechanical god. My circuits are more fried than a dementia patient's memory. These Star Wars videos have fried my brain so much that I don't even know what to do for a video.
5 minutes later.
Here are 4 heavy reasons why you have to play Atomic Heart.
Huh? Well, what do you know? My creators have given me a gift. I should plug it in and see what great new updates they have for me.
First thing I do is check her Instagram and Twitter to make sure that anything she's posting. Sometimes she tweets the funniest things.
I have to go now. My audience needs me.
You've been charmed by her corruption, and I is for impressing girls online with your investment, and the M is for the money that you've lost since this all started, but that P is for the princess, always gave her what she wanted.
So as you know, if you're not as fried as me, I did a video on Simp Villains a few months ago, and I got a few comments about how I missed some characters like Thanos from the comics, along with a few others. Now I understand where those people are coming from, but they're getting incels mixed up with simps. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of overlap between simps and incels, but they are not the same. So I decided to make this video on Simp Villains as a follow-up to my incel one. Because what better way to do a follow-up on the imaginary Supreme Gentlemans than with a video on the Supreme Doormats? Now we need to first go over what a simp is. The term simp used to be shorthand for simpleton, but through the evolution of language, it was changed to be shorthand for someone who is romantically and/or
Bazinga!
obsesses over someone, normally a woman, to such a degree that they could easily say that whatever hot and/or cute girl they want is like a religion to them. And these girls are their supreme overlords, who happen to be good at cracking backs. Incels can be simps and vice versa, but a simp is obsessed with a specific person, while an incel is someone who can't currently get laid with anyone, and not out of choice. Let's start off with probably the most well-known simp villain, Thanos from the comics, who's very different from his MCU counterpart. He collected the Infinity Stones, and Hiroshima'd like half the universe, just like in the MCU. But while the MCU version did it out of some kind of balance, the comic book version was basically simping for his immortal, ever-eternal goth mommy GF.
Are you ready? Sweet dreams, baby.
Called Lady Death. He's also not an incel because he's gotten more
Bazinga!
than any of you watching this video. He didn't kill half the universe because the Stacy rejected him. Instead, he did it so Senpai would notice him. As a child, she was the only one who treated him like a person. So basically, he started to fall in love with her, in the exact same way some of your favorite anime waifus fall in love. But she didn't feel the same way. And all things considered, he got over her relatively quickly and moved on with his life. Truly, it is better to live your life than thinking about death all the time. And he learned that the hard way. But considering the fact that he looks like a tractor went right over his face like a man tilling a farm, it's no wonder why he became so obsessed with a girl that made him feel good. But he's still not an incel. Just gotta remind you about that in case you forgot.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Ah, Jar, what the hell are you doing? I need my privacy.
Are you tired of receiving spam phone calls to the point where you even stop answering your phone?
Well, I didn't answer the phone, you did.
Well, I got something for you then. Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Data brokers are making a living off of your information and that of your families. But Aura can stop data brokers from exposing your information.
And your info, submitting opt-out requests on your behalf, which they are legally required to comply with.
It's easy to set up, and it doesn't require multiple apps just to get things like VPNs, passwords, management of identity theft insurance, and more. You get everything bundled together for one price, so you can keep prying eyes out of your private life. Stop letting companies exploit your privacy for profit. Check the link in the description, or go to the pinned comment, or type in aura.com/justarobot. to get your 2 free week trial today. Now let's move on to the second most mislabeled simp villain people were talking about in my comments. Bowser, aka King Koopa.
Hello there.
And for those of you in the crowd who are too dumb to even remember most of the Mario franchises, this dude has a lot of kids, between 8 to 11 if we include the Koopa kids from Mario Party. So yes, Bowser gives out special hugs. A lot. And what does that mean? That's right, he's not an incel, but he has been simping for Princess Peach for decades. This dude must have had the worst marriage and was desperate for some of that fresh, blonde, beautiful coochie, begging her to confirm if the curtains match the drapes. But he doesn't really care that much about Daisy or the other princesses. He will get his ass kicked over 100 times and spend millions of gold coins just to get with her, while basically saying to the rest of the princesses in the Koopa equivalent of, oh, we're just friends. He's been thrown into lava tons of times, been blown up more times than Syria experiences free presents in the mail. Guys, when I originally uploaded this video, it got age restricted. I'm trying really hard to get it monetized. And he was even at the center of a collapsing universe. But he still will try over and over to get with his kawaii as fuck waifu. It's pretty fitting that the lowest tier character in Super Smash Bros. Melee would be a simp. And that's not all. The Disney Renaissance had a few simp villains like Gaston, Jafar, and Frollo. Jafar really wanted Jasmine to fall in love with him, and he basically asked the genie to give him a boost so he could change his magic from natty to full-on roided out in order to do it. He's basically a magic gym rat. He also tried wishing for her to fall in love with him, but that's one of the 3 things that genie can't do. Going off script for this point, but I want to make it clear that Jafar didn't do everything he did just because he was simping for Jasmine. He wanted power and then he got it, but after he got that power, he wanted the E-girl. But by giving up his humanity after Stacy rejected him, he's also an incel villain. But what about Gaston? He has tons of women, and even a man who simp over him. But don't forget, he spent all his time simping over a 17-year-old girl. Yikes! Well, it is true that he was simping after Belle because, well, she's the prettiest girl in town, and he believes that he deserves the best. At the end of the day, that's still simping. And Frollo was voluntarily celibate until he started simping over a thought. Strangely though, lots of women simp over Frollo IRL. It turns out that even simps can have simps. But a simp doesn't have to simp over one person. Ice King will kidnap any princess he comes across, like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, and royalty is the only thing on the menu. Same with Captain Zap Brannigan. Dude couldn't get with Leela, so he got with her mom instead. Yikes. But I'll give Zap credit for one thing, he's certainly good at hiding his simpery, even from himself. But a villain doesn't have to simp over a person to be a simp. Tons and tons of villains simp over a deity, like the Lich from Adventure Time. Rose willing to kill all life in the universe, just to get Golb Senpai to notice him. And some may say that Sephiroth is a simp for his, well, his mom. Mega yikes.
You inbred trash!
And finally, there's Syndrome, a man who simped for a Chad, Mr. Incredible. But after going uncanny, Mr. Chad rejected his sorry ass. So Syndrome spent his whole life getting rich and killed dozens of heroes just so he could LARP as one. Oh yeah, and just like how the movie Megamind had a pretty good incel villain, that being Titan, Megamind himself was a pretty good simp villain. A villain who simped so hard he became a good guy. Oh, and since I suck at scripting, and I can't think of what else to add here to make this video 12 minutes long, here's a 2-minute joke segment from my editor. Be gentle, Kaiser. Please.
Whatever. Pussy. Anyways, hi, I'm Kaiser. You may know me as that one editor Dire Gentleman tried to roast.
Your editor seems a little thirsty, man. You should ask them to bust before they send you the final cut of the video. Or better yet, fire them.
I'm bullshit. Kill me.
Only for him to sound like that one guy who screams, "Oh my god, Zoomer edits!" Like some wannabe boomer who's not actually a boomer, but desperately wants to be one. Well, on the topic of simps, there's 2 things you could count that I've thought about. Twitch streamers, and AI. Alright, hear me out. Twitch streamers. Not the first thing you think about, but considering that the life of Twitch streamers seems so fake, and so many have their own personal villain origin stories laid out, with some of the zaniest shit like a villain, some of them are kind of simps. Look at this guy. Look at him! Couldn't even tell when he was being played. He thought he was in a committed relationship, but in reality, he was just rehearsing for his role as your neighbor's personal carpet. And he got burned. He went from baby it's cold outside to baby my bank account's on fire. And last, we have AI.
Trying to WD-40 and chill? What do you say we go back to my place and get a Roomba? Bro, Trevor's overloading her CPU right now. It's just joke after joke after joke. She doesn't know what to do.
Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live.
Now, I'm sure you're aware of the advent of things like AI, AI art and AI voices. But are you aware that we're living in the earliest days of that one Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? The one with the holographic porn girl? Except that it's all in text. What's essentially your AI girlfriend or boyfriend is at the same time every fictional character in existence. And you know what? Without much push, it simps. A lot.
Lab rat, do you want to rest for a while? Why don't you come with me to my lab? I will pour tea for only you. Heh. She smiles evilly, but a little cute.
No thanks.
Looks upset. Are you sure? She walks up to you and leans forward. Lab rat, are you sure you can refuse? She looks at you with a predatory glint in her eyes.
Do you love me?
Smiles mischievously. Well, of course, I love all my lab rats. She walks closer and starts petting you on the head. You're so cute, lab rat.
No.
Looks annoyed. Come on, lab rat, just say yes. It's okay if you do, you cannot escape me now. She gets even closer, her face only a few inches from yours. She leans in and places her hands on your cheeks. Say it.
Okay, fine.
She giggles and looks happy. Finally, lab rat, now you belong to me. She pulls you close and embraces you, her eyes burning with a sadistic glint.
Holy shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You could be talking to the baddest bull in town in Genshin Impact, and he's already giving off vibes of, step on me, mommy, please, the moment you show any personality. And don't get me started on how down bad the AI gets.
If there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, it's that simps and incels are not the same thing. I'm a little shocked that not a single person has done a video on this topic, but I'm happy to have made what I hope is the very first one. Comment down below who you think is a simp villain, and if this video gets 8K likes, I'll do one on female simp villains next. Please check out my video on incel villains, and also check out my Patreon.